So referee there from New Jersey, good referee, Steve Smoger, handled the Nigel Benn fight with Malinga. Now, which version of Eubank are we going to see tonight? In Street Talk, Jim, he certainly got him at it, didn't he, in that interview with Jim Rosenthal there. We never know with him. I think that's part of the attraction. When it comes to, well, textbook style, I suppose he's greener than Tom Jones's grass. But with his unorthodoxy and immense strength, and I must say often willpower, he gets the job done, and you can't knock that. There he is, he's done all the posing now. He's been pouting like a pigeon, as he always does. He's sweating profusely. And it's quite packed, the aisles, as he came into the ring there. But I must say that Gimenez was laughing in the corner the whole way through all of Eubank's posing. So there it is then. This Paraguayan has fought in everybody's backyard, and he's trained in Miami for several weeks. He's lived in France under the Akaris brothers. And Louis Akar is one-time European champion, beaten by Tony Sipton, is in the corner with him. And the main thing to remember, 47 fights, and although he's been on the deck, he always gets up, so far anyway. And that's not a bad credential to come into a World Championship fight. This is the World Boxing Organization version of the championship. And he's so active, Chris Eubank, isn't he? And Jim Rosenthal said, Jim, what he started, the crowd has started warming to him, although he's gone to a public press agency to try and get a new image. I don't think he needs it really. What he's got now, he's getting away with.
Well, you have to remember now, right, when Eubank just came on the scene, he was boxing British boxers, and the fans were always against him. Now it's foreign opponents they're bringing in for him, so obviously the country is well behind him. I don't know how they would feel if he was facing Nigel Benn tonight, but I certainly have grown to like him over the last year or so. And you know, he's got far more style out of the ring as well as in than I thought he would have. And I look forward to working on his fights. Gimenez looks to have a good tight defence, Reg, and he wants to march forward, so he may give Eubank a few problems and hopefully bring the best out of him.
Fought the Italian Mauro Galvano, whom Ben defeated with that rather disgraceful ending that it looked like being. And some good judges said to me if Gimenez had really shown just that little bit more grit, he actually could have won that night. Went to 12 rounds.
Well, that gets that big cricket throwing right hand over with. Chris usually likes to throw one, but hopefully that gets over with. Gimenez is letting the counters go pretty sharply, Reg. He might not be that bad an opponent right enough.
I've always respected guys who go around the world, Jim, never ask just how much I'm coming, bring the gum shield and I'm away. You know, that takes a lot of doing in this business. Never been a world champion from Paraguay. And as he said, don't call me just a tired old contender. I'm not here just for the money. And actually, I believe him. But on record and all that sort of thing, and certainly the trade press have given this match a bit of a hammering.
I think Gimenez may be all right, Reg. As I say, he's learned the business the hard way, and as you say, doesn't ask for any favours. I mean, he's standing his ground in the first round here, showing little feints to Eubank, trying to draw a lead. A little battle of wits in the first round. But the early signs are decent.
And Eubank taking the long walk back to the corner. And that glimpse of the man in the fancy shirt with the big shoulders, that was Louis Akar, former European champion. So he's had a little look round now, Eubank, but well, maybe he won't have to get into that backpedaling that he did in the fight in Scotland with Tony Thornton, when we'll have to find out what the speed limit is for backpedaling in a championship fight. Ronnie Davis, the human pit bull, as Chris Eubank calls him friendly, former Brighton boxer, won an area championship. And the gentleman on the outside there in his evening dress, he's merely inspector from the north. Looks as though he's like the master of ceremonies, isn't it? They're really dressing him up these days. He's making sure nothing untoward goes on. No horseshoe slipped in the gloves. Second round then. And World Championship scheduled for 12. With 3 neutral judges. If it did go 12, a reminder the referee doesn't score. And if one man goes down 3 times in the same round, it's automatically over. And the followers of the game might recall that's what happened with Nigel Benn against Doug DeWitt and Iran Bartlett. Oh, he's going walkabouts for a little while, Jim, I suspect. He's not too sure yet, Eubank, what this fellow Gimenez has got. May not be the greatest of punchers, Gimenez, but he's had 26 stoppages or countouts from the 47, from the 39 wins. So a minute gone in the second round. Packed crowd at the last minute. This G-Mex Central Manchester filled up. Punching at length again, Eubank, Jim, isn't he? He's, you know, full reach of the arms. He's not just shifting those feet forward enough yet. Yeah, well, that's all right when you're using the jab. He was kind of flicking with the right hand there. He's going to have to move a bit closer. But he started the round making good use of the left jab. He has an excellent left jab, and it may be an idea to spend the first couple of rounds using that. I think he explained his technique fairly well in our preview there, though. And it's quite right. I've always known that he couldn't take a man out exactly when he wanted to, and it doesn't always happen with boxers anyway. But he liked people to think that. But he's blown it tonight, isn't he? Admitting it all. Well, the Paraguayan's not here to run away, Jim. I'll say that for him. Not highly ranked. I mean, he's only in the middle of the rankings, really. I think Eubank's jab could be a winner for him tonight. It's looking very sharp already in the early stages here. I mean, he's just moving around, having a good look, but the jab looks to be working well. Takes a lot of pride in avoiding punches. You've got to hand it to him there, Eubank. That was a nice left hook he finished on there, Reg. Good sharp punching from Eubank. Catch me if you can at the moment. Round 3 coming up then. And join us in your hopefully comfort ringside seat here at G-Mex in Manchester. 5th defence is a super middleweight. That means the 12 stone division, and he also won the middleweight championship before that, Eubank. So 10th defence. 2 years and 10 days. It's quite a record. A criticism occasionally that he certainly hand-picked 1 or 2, but then so do all champions if they can get away with it. Good name on the Gimenez record, Jimmy. Went distance with Roberto Duran in '86. That was not quite Duran at his peak, but certainly not at his worst. Hello, there's a little bit of talking going on here. He speaks a bit of French, Gimenez. I doubt whether Eubank can manage that. Just giving a reminder there, the referee, to keep him up. He keeps well out of the way, Steve Spoger. Lets him get on with it unless he's really needed to dive in. I think Gimenez's problem is going to be getting close to Eubank without catching that jab in the way in. He's finding it difficult. He's tried a little feint. He's tried slipping from side to side. It's not easy. That good left hand work from Eubank. That was a good left hook. Picking his punches well, Eubank, isn't he? Very deliberate. Trying to play chess with his punching power, isn't he, here, Eubank is saying, I'm waiting for this fellow to make the wrong move and I'll counter. Just a wee bit out of distance with the right hand and then flick the left hand home anyway. Minute to go in the 3rd. get out of there when he wants to, Eubank, but he quite enjoys covering him up. And wants to see what Gimenez has got, I think. He'll stay the course all right, Gimenez. He's done it 4 times, although, of course, Eubank's done it 5
That's a nice right hand from Gimenez, Reg. Eubank, little mistake, caught him an overhand right. But as we've seen before, Eubank, nothing wrong with his chin.
Sometimes I think it hurts his pride more than his chin, Jim, and he has been down.
Yeah, well, that was a decent shot. And Gimenez is getting closer in this round. I don't know if it's because Eubank has been more stationary, altered his tactics, that if maybe Gimenez has found a way there, but he got closer that round.
All very casual, isn't it, this fellow's? He's so different. He's looking around there as if he's counting the house. And he's such a businessman, he may well be doing that. Let's have a look at a replay there.
Well, Gimenez got into punching range in that round, let some good shots go. Most of the punching here, Eubank was in control of what was happening. He wasn't taking any on target, just slipping, sliding and blocking. So that didn't really leave any mark on him. That was near the beginning of the round when Eubank did his best work. When it's at long range, Eubank is definitely the master. His jab is working well.
A little bit of a wash and brush up there. Let's have a look at that right hander. There it is, Jim.
I think this is it coming now, Reg.
Yeah. Round 4. WBO version of the 12-stone championship of the world. Now, can this fellow's never been stopped or counted out? Obviously, Gimenez, can he stand up to these picked punches at the moment by Eubank? Good gutsy fight of the Paraguayan, but you never know what Eubank's thinking. I mean, he confuses us all, and sometimes I think maybe himself. Sometimes having a high level of bravado might disguise just a bit of fear. It's clever the way Eubank keeps this fellow at bay, though, Jim. I mean, he likes to move in and try and bustle away with you, Gimenez, and he's not allowing him to, Eubank. Yeah,
well, Eubank standing in front of him, trying to draw the jab. I think Gimenez realises he can't trade jabs with Eubank. Eubank far too sharp with a longer reach. Eubank making use of that reach in this round.
Oh, he knew he'd been hit there. Back of the crowd knew it as quickly as Gimenez did there.
Eubank just standing, waiting for Gimenez to make the first move. Certainly boxing a smart fight tonight, Reg.
Must be an infuriating man to fight, Eubank.
Well, the fact that he hates being hit at all, Reg, is as soon as he makes a mistake, he has very good reflexes and he gets that chin out of harm's way. It's not easy to pin with decent shots.
Minute to go in the 4th round.
I just hope he sustains the good work. Too often in the past we've seen good work, then he goes for a walk for a couple of rounds. But this is certainly good sharp boxing. I hope he sustains it.
He's had to work to do the 12-stone limits instead of insiders were telling me. I don't know that would count when it comes to stamina.
Gimenez taking some decent shots, but still prepared to get right back into the action again.
It's amazing how he does that weight. He's the wizard of the Aussies, isn't he, Eubank, Jim? His last 4 or 5 fights, he's been 12 stone exactly, and that takes a lot of doing on the scales all the time, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, a good pro learns, you learn your own body, Reg. You know what you should be the night before a fight going to bed, so you know what you'll be in the morning.
Gimenez looked at him there, Eubank, as if to say, please go back to your corner. Jim?
Well, he snapped out a lovely right hand, just a right hand single punch lead Gimenez made the mistake. Out it came, it knocked him off balance. Look at that. That was a beautiful shot. Certainly caught him a little bit off balance, but I mean, he was a little bit quiet for a good half-minute afterwards, so I think that was a good shot.
Yeah, this is where he gets back on the jabbing punch and the left-hand punches that you were talking about there. They're really pumming those in. They're broomstick stuff, aren't they, with Eubank, Jim? They're hurtful. They're not just point scoring. He breaks up the man's rhythm, concentration, everything with those. So there's the man with Barry Hearn as well, is closest to the seat of power there, isn't he, Ronnie Davis, the trainer? As he said, drives me mad, but in the end he gets the job done.
Seconds out, round 5.
Round 5. Oh, hello. Paraguayan coming out saying, well, I better start winging some punches here and trying to get this fellow to swap some with me rather than keep picking them off. Oh dear, right above us here, Jimmy. The judge, no, he won't consider that a knockdown, Smoja, the referee. He's made it clear to the judges. And the Puerto Rican judge right by our seat here just stopped him falling right out of the ring, but wasn't allowed to push him back. That's a bit more like it now. The crowd getting their money's worth here, aren't they?
Well, this is a better show from Eubank now. We're really seeing some action in this fight. He's letting the punches go, taking the initiative more often than we've seen in the past. It is a good show.
He might be limited, Gimenez, Jim, but he's willing, isn't he? You know, he's a good old campaigner. He's 31, that's all. It's not that old, is it? 26, Eubank.
See, he lacks the technique. You can see how difficult he's finding it to get close and get some decent punches off. The only thing is, Eubank tends, when he produces some good work, he takes a long breather afterwards, sometimes allowing an opponent to get back into things again.
And then when he really has to put it down, Jim, he finds the old equaliser, doesn't he? He's proved that in previous fights.
Yeah, a couple of times he's left it a little bit neat, but he's always got the job done. Always did enough work. But I'd say he's trying to put a show on tonight. I mean, he could probably control this fight more just with the jab, but he's not doing that. He's letting some punches go with some decent action.
A minute to go in the 5th. Come on, show me what you can do now, Eubank saying, going for the walk that you just predicted, Jim. He's tiring a man out, just letting him chase him and miss him with punches.
I think Gimenez's lack of technique and his little bit lack of power, I think the job is just going to be a little bit too big for him. But the main thing is good action.
We come up to the end of this round, it's chanting of the Eubank. Eubank has just started. A good willing challenger here in Juan Gimenez. Bit of an honest toiler, really. Sort of hasn't thrown any punches that's bothered Eubank's proficiency at all. Referee always able to keep, well, almost out the picture at times, Jim. It's been an easy fight for him to handle. Well, because they've been at long range so much, eh?
Yeah, well, Eubank managing to control Gimenez most of the time, not allowing him to do much effective work.
He didn't do a bad job of swaying away from a couple of those punches, Gimenez. Excuse me while I wipe my nose, said Eubank. How dare you hit me like that? He's looking down at his feet most of the time, now changing it to the eyes.
I think Eubank's putting punches together better tonight than I've ever seen him. It's not the single shot, the 1-2. He's throwing 4s, 5s. A couple of times he's let 6 punches go. So he's certainly improving as a champion. This opponent, the longer it's going, the more it seems to suit him. But he's certainly putting on a show this time.
Oh, well, never too keen on them turning their back on an opponent, Jim. There's something a bit disrespectful about that, and that's a word that he's always using, Eubank, show respect. In fact, if he does it more often, I think the referee will be on to him not to turn the back. It's really making that left-hand punch scourge, isn't it? You know, it's not just a flick. As we can, well, almost feel the impact, we're so close to them.
Yeah, I like the way he's always been in control of what's been going on. Gimenez has had a couple of nice little bursts of punches. He's pinned him in the corner, pinned him in the ropes, but never really done any serious damage. Eubank always in control, even when he's defending. That was a decent right hand.
Oh, absolutely. At the end of the round.
If Gimenez is going to trouble him, that one should have done.
I think the expression on Eubank's face there when he got caught told it all, really. The pain had gone, but the expression hadn't. There it is, Jim.
See, at least the fellow keeps coming. Got to give him full credit. But see, look, Eubank really letting punches go. That's not what we've seen in the past.
And again, from a different angle.
See, Eubank always prepared to push Gimenez back, and that's what's making the job that little bit more easier to control.
Oh, London promoter Frank Warren, that's been in the news a lot lately, hasn't he? Come up to see this fight, and then he's got Nicky Piper fighting, who he manages, fighting Nigel Benn in a couple of weeks.
Seconds out, round 7.
7th round, we're out. Just a reminder, of course, 12 rounds in a championship fight. World Boxing Organization version. Look at this, almost like a statue there, isn't he? One of these old sporting prints, that one, Jim, isn't it, that stance?
See, he's just trying to draw the lead, trying to draw the mistake from Gimenez. Gimenez had a little bit more sense then, just backed off.
He'd have been sensation as a bare knuckle bruiser, wouldn't he, Eubank? With the long pants and the pose, he'd have been something.
See, everything he's done tonight has had a little bit of sharpness about it. In full credit to Eubank, it doesn't look as though he's been boxing as often. It really looks like the appetite is there tonight, the sharpness. Really has boxed well.
As each round's gone by, of course, Gimenez has proven made to measure for Eubank, as he did there. See, now he's going to unleash those punches.
Well, that was a decent left hook, Reg. Gimenez obviously has a sound chin, because that was a beauty.
He's fought some tough nuts in his time, but I mean, he shipped a bit of punishment to Gimenez. You wonder if he's going to catch up with him. Juan rolled down in Argentina, by the way, with something like, what was it, 50,000 in the crowd, I think. And that didn't seem to bother him.
I wonder maybe if Gimenez is becoming a little bit discouraged, Reg. I mean, the couple of times where Eubank has stood and stared them down, he's just backed off again. Instead of trying to make some sort of move, he's backed off. I wonder maybe if he's beginning to think that the task is beyond him. See, he's got to knock Eubank out of this rhythm, and he's not really trying to do that. It's possible he's maybe just going to try and cut down the punishment here. But if he wants to win this title, he's going to have to find something better than he's found.
Minute to go in the 7th. He's going chasing again now, the challenger. He knows he's, you know, the old line about he's got to take the championship away. He can't stand off and hope to win the fight.
But he's never put Eubank under any pressure, Reg. Eubank has always been in control of the pace, in control of the action. Gimenez is going to have to put him under more pressure, and I don't know if he can manage to do that.
It'd be impossible to show some of that in slow motion replay, Jim, wouldn't it? They're just standing still. Get a bit of blood around Gimenez's face now, Jim.
I'm not surprised.
Somebody's
really
hitting him.
taking some good stiff shots. Eubank's left-hand work has been very good tonight. I think Gimenez complaining about a kidney punch then. I didn't see it. Good left-hand work to finish the round.
Well, he's entitled to be satisfied with his night's work so far, isn't he, Eubank? And he still hasn't walked back to that corner as the judges hand the slips to the referee, who hands them to the supervisor, Ed Levine from Miami. Jim, let's have another look at that one. Oh, what a swipe.
Yeah, that was the good left hand. That one, I would have expected to shake Gimenez up more, but that proved to me he had a decent chin. But Eubank knows he's firmly in control. He's really doing as he pleases now. Gimenez, there's nothing Gimenez has done has given him any problems.
Here it is from the close-up camera at the ringside there. I mean, if he'd have just turned that knuckle in there, he might have had him over with that, but he's certainly wilting now, isn't he? Up before the bell as well, Eubank. That shows that he's really fancying this one, wants to turn as much on as he can. Just to confuse you, of course, the champions in the other weight, WBC is now Nigel Benn, and WBA is Michael Nunn, and the IBF is Moran Barkley. So sometimes there's more champions than challengers in the fight game today. It's so fragmented.
See, if Gimenez would actually do a little bit more attacking, put a little bit more sharpness into his boxing, he would probably hit less often. See, he's standing off, trying to box his way in, and that is suiting Eubank so much. He's just picking him off, keeping him under control with the jab.
Wondering if the weight of those shorts of Gimenez is bothering him. He looks as though he's been in a shower. They must have really doused the water all over him in the corner there. Yeah, he's going for it now, Eubank, no doubt about that. And if he is the first to stop this fellow, Jim, that's no mean feat.
Yeah, well, he's certainly going about the job. This is the first time I've seen him setting up attacks and sustaining the attacks. Too often he mounts an attack and he lets it all go to waste. But he's kept the pace going here, he's controlled the action, and when he sets up an attack, he keeps it going. It's as good as I've seen him, Reg. I'm not saying this is the best opponent he's ever faced, but it's as good as I've seen him. Good, sharp boxing.
Well, it's all adding to the new image that he's hoping to please will you like me image. Turns up in his tracksuits at press conferences instead of his smart Italian suits.
See, Gimenez there's nothing he can do that troubles Eubank. He's not good enough in any department. He doesn't punch hard enough, he doesn't box well enough, his technique is not good enough, and Eubank is just enjoying himself tonight. A bit of success here.
Well, good luck to Gimenez. He's trying to draw him into some kind of a fight instead of him being picked off like a little bit embarrassed at times, apart from being hurt there, the Paraguayan.
Well, that's his only chance, Reg. He has to take the initiative and knock Eubank out of this rhythm he's in.
Much better round there as we get the countdown clock of the 8th round. So far, Jim, of course, have got it, well, 8-0, isn't it, Jim, in rounds for Eubank?
Yeah, Gimenez may have shared one, Reg. That's about all. Or he could possibly have shared the first when nothing much happened. Maybe so it's possible he shared two, but that's the best I can do for him. And even that's maybe been a little bit kind. But Eubank just looks in a different league to Gimenez all the way through. The jab especially, I've always liked his jab. I never felt he's made enough use of it, but he has done tonight.
He's cuffing him a bit round too with the right hand punch, and as you've seen earlier, he knocked out John Jarvis with, well, an absolute peach of a punch on the chin.
Well, credit to Gimenez, Red, trading jabs and
all
still...
the time, yeah. You know, the thing is, a travelling pro, Jim, he's only left with the really instinctive notions of the old travelling pro at the moment, but he's giving it his best shot still. I hand it to him for that. You know, I don't remember the referee calling break at all, Jim. Has there been a clinch? I can't remember. I don't think there has.
You don't actually mind Eubank's little lazy spells when the action's been so good throughout the previous rounds. Sometimes we get annoyed when he goes walkabout, but this one you don't mind, because at least there's good action in between times.
Great concentration all the time, Eubank, isn't it? Does the posing as well. It's all part of his concentration technique, actually. Sometimes you suspect he gets a bit insulated in that sort of privacy of his determination.
The only criticism, Reggie, does still throw that terrible right hand at times, doesn't he? It's like a big slap. But that's really the only criticism. Everything else has been fine.
See, they're only just pummeling away there, so like a dog burrowing for a bone there, isn't he? The way he just pumps the arms in there, Gimenez. It's as though Eubank's saying, I better let you get away with something. Or double that one up well, Jim. The postman's not punched there, didn't he? Rattle that one in.
See, his boxing really is superior to Gimenez. He knows that, and he's quite happy to try to draw the leads.
Coming up then to the end of the 9th. With this Chris Eubank, the man of massive contradictions in a way, giving an absolute incredible, cool, hard display at the same time. This is where he was chasing him with the overhead replay. Just sort of cuffing away there, wasn't getting away with much, was he?
No, well, again, even when he's under the only bit of pressure that Gimenez has managed, he's in control of what's going on. There's no real clean punches going through here. And even if there were, no power, just little arm, piston-like punches, no problem. Then he actually comes back with one of his own.
A little casting eye with the boxing board inspector there, making sure there's nothing used in the corner. Matter of fact, at the rules meeting earlier today, when they were saying that the only things to be used in the corner, Louis Okara says, how about a bottle of red wine? Good spirit to have, and maybe he knew he was coming with the loser, I don't know. Round 10. The 5 full distance 12-rounders now, either in international championships they were called then, WBC, or the middleweight championships of WBO Eubanks has had. And Gimenez has been 4 times over the 12 rounds.
Gimenez is starting with a little bit more urgency, but this is what he should have been doing 5-6 rounds ago. He's been too content to stand off and allow Eubank to outbox him. He's going to have to march forward, bob from side to side, get close and let some punches go. Otherwise, he's going to be picked to pieces.
Hasn't tried that very much. He almost tried the uppercut there, Jim. He was trying it for size and then pulled it short there, Eubank. always that anticipation when you're watching Eubank, Jim, if you can just shoot that the hard punch over the top, a bit like that, but a bit wild, as you say, tends to get a bit wild with the right hand, but I'm not going to tell him, Jim, you'll have to tell him that one.
No, well, it really has been a perfect performance so far from Eubank, apart, as I say, from the couple of silly right hands, but you can't have everything. But he's really done everything right, kept his man under control. His jabbing has been spot on.
Minute to go in the 10th.
Gimenez has turned out to be the perfect opponent for everybody, Reg. Perfect for Eubank because he can control him so well, and perfect for the crowd because he's put up a show. He really has been putting up a battle all the way through.
Not much potency in the punches, I wouldn't have thought, Jim, but as you say, you can't have everything. But certainly a lot of steel in the chin.
Yeah, well, Gimenez just doesn't do anything well enough even to trouble Eubank. He's run out of ideas quite a few rounds ago. It's just his heart and his determination, his pride, it keeps him going. But Eubank really has kept him under control. It's maybe just a little bit late in the day for Gimenez to get his chance.
There was a time, Jim, when he was ranked above Eubank, and the WBO ditched him and then made Eubank and Watson for the vacant super middleweight championship. He's been a bit bitter about that, this fellow. Jean-Pierre Survey from France in the corner, and same old team in this one, the winners, Mr. Davis. Jim?
Yeah, well, again, Eubank, no problems. Not his biggest round, but still nothing going wrong, just keeping everything where it should be, keeping everything in order. Making use of the jab, just not allowing Gimenez to come back with any decent work.
Came into the ring, you know, really sweating profusely. He's in good shape. He looks after his body all right, doesn't he, Eubank? Respect him for that, of course. But then again, nearly all the best pros do. But he seems to be, you know, a bit narcissistic, really, and he enjoys that. Round 11. Two American judges, one from Puerto Rico. And the 2 minute goes to 12 now. That Steve Smoja, the referee, doesn't score. Well, he might have laughed a bit when Eubank was going through his routine before the first bell, Gimenez, but I think he stopped laughing quite a few rounds ago and probably didn't realise what a difficult man this is to fight.
Eubank also looks so strong when he marches forward and pushes Gimenez back.
As though Gimenez is saying, you must be getting tired of hitting me with that left-hand jab to Eubank. Maybe I can slip a right-hand counter over the top of it, but he just doesn't get away with it because Eubank sways out of distance. It's amazing with practically no infighting, really, just those little scuffles from Eubank, from Gimenez, and not returned by Eubank.
Yeah, it's been an easy fight to handle, that's for sure. But Eubank just keeping Gimenez at the right range, close enough so that he throws the leads to allow Eubank to do the countering. Just keeping him right in the perfect spot all the way through.
Minute to go in this round, 1 to go. Well, he hasn't bothered to try and enjoy sort of ogre's role here for this fight, does he, Eubank? He's trying to show there's a bit of a craftsman.
Legs gave away a little bit from Gimenez and Reg. Left hook to the chin just seemed to, I don't know if it was tiredness or if it was the effects of the punch, but that one certainly had an effect. Eubank probably feels the strength leaving Gimenez in the clinches. He probably feels that the sting leaving Gimenez's punches. He's taking charge now.
Sheer pride has been keeping this fella in there. I said that at the office, said we might be poor in Paraguay, but we're proud people. And as he said, can you imagine if I could win a world championship, become the first Paraguayan, what that would mean? I've already got a nice house, which makes you almost a millionaire in a country like Paraguay. And his dad's in the corner as well. There, Jim in replay.
Well, credit to Gimenez. Nothing been going right for him, but he keeps coming through. That was with his legs. On second view, and maybe he wasn't quite in the trouble I thought he was, but the punch seemed to glance off his chin. So not really in any serious trouble. There's that terrible right hand again.
Oh dear, nearly put the lights out with that one.
10 seconds, Jonas.
All as before, I would have thought the trainer saying, you don't have to prove yourself now, it's in the bag. Let's go out there and try to give the crowd as much as you've got left now. Just a little bout of infighting there, Jim, for the first time, that is. Oh, yes, he's going to put on a show right at the finish now, Eubank. When he's forced to do it, Jim, he can turn it on, as he proved in the Nigel Benn fight. I mean, that was a great fight. He was hurt a couple of times there and then came back.
That's why you have to give him credit.
Oh, he's done him, Jim. He might stop him in the last round here. That would be some feat. And in a way, you've got to root for the Paraguayan to stay on his feet. You really have. It's been such a game showing, but he's got plenty of time to do it. Look at him coming back again to say, oh yes, I'll have some of that. Why don't we get into this sort of fighting earlier? 2 minutes to go.
This is a real show of courage from Gimenez. That was a tremendous punch. That looked like it was all over. Tremendous chin this man has.
Well, Eubank is saying, OK, you can punch yourself out now because you're not going to win anything. But he stopped Eubank sort of flying in there and trying to steal the finish and put on the big show, the final act. Or is he? There's still time left. Oh, he's doing well there, Gimenez, ducking and diving, and the crowd appreciate that too. Good last round, this. Giving it all they've got. You can't ask for more than that. A couple of warriors now, aren't they?
Yeah, well, as I say,
Reg,
not the best opponent Eubank's faced, but certainly one of the gutsiest. And it's as good as I've seen Eubank. He's done the job in perfect fashion. You can't really fault his work tonight.
I always had a feeling this fella could go 12, Jim. I was surprised that he was written off, but in terms of points, yes, he has been written off, but what a gutsy follow.
Well, he's not far away from being stopped now, Reg. You get the feeling a couple of clean shots could maybe do the job here because he really is looking weary.
Oh, he's sucking in air there, all right, Gimenez. So there the Eubank chart, Eubank, but there the seconds ticking away.
Well, Eubank's always been well ahead, but he didn't drop the pace. He gave the fans a show, so we have to give him full credit for that. Always put on a show tonight.
And he can't win by a knockout now, Jim, even if he went down, because the bell would intervene. And I think the loser's got to get some cheers this here. There it is, friendly acknowledgement there, and I think he's quite satisfied, Gimenez, that he's really worn out there. His leg nearly betrayed him as he went back to the corner. So I hope it's not I mean, it's got to be an obvious verdict anyway, so I hope that the supervisor doesn't make a meal of this. We've asked him not to, Ed Levine. Barry Hearns saying, well, in a bit of Romford English, that I hope the Paraguayan from France can understand. Well done. And probably the sponsors are pleased, the Daily Mirror and the Sunday Mirror. Applause for both boxers is called for, and certainly justified. And there are the girls to the sponsors, the newspaper there, the Mirror and Sunday Mirror. They're quite pleased, I think, to have had 12 rounds. Put up their money. Jim, let's have a look at a bit of replay in that final round then.
Well, a couple of times it looked as though Eubank may actually finish the fellow. Thankfully he didn't. I think Gimenez, if nothing else, deserved to last a full 12 rounds. But that was a lovely right hand. Look at the effect, followed by a nice left hook, was just caught around about the throat area. But at this point, it looked one clean punch would finish the job. But Gimenez, on automatic pilot, just managed to keep his chin out of harm's way.
Yeah, he just got the old forearm in there as well, just as well. That's a nice friendly finish. That's something about boxing, isn't it, that brings that respect for each other after a fight, which is nice to see.
Ladies and gentlemen, Judge Samuel Conde scores of the contest 109 to 119. Judge John Rupert scores the contest 110 to 118. Judge Carl Milligan scores the contest 110 to 118. The winner and still the super middleweight champion.
Well, a big margin as we'd expect. Gimenez managed to win a couple of rounds there on the judges' car, but that was about all the best he could give. Isn't that nice to see that? And it's another good earner for Chris Eubank. So I wonder who he's going to fight next now. We'll let Ben fight take place. Who's left for him to fight?
Excuse me, please. Chris, you picked yourself a perfect opponent, but it was a perfect display by your side.
Thank you very much, Karen. I love you bad. I'm coming home.
Tell us about that fight.
The fight, well, what I will tell you, the fellow was there, and my job working. It seemed as though I had him at will. So I think, in accordance to my job tonight, I think I performed quite well.
You performed better than you usually do against those sort of opponents, Chris. I mean, you kept going all through the fight.
Yeah, well, I appreciate this Mancunian crowd here, and the crowds in Scotland. The people who support me, I'll support them by giving them a boxing display. Thank you.
You picked a perfect opponent there, so why don't you do it every time?
Well, some, they say they come forward, but then when they get in with me, they look at me strategically on videotape and they say, well, you can't go towards this guy. He's too, his class is too much to go into the ring and try to outmaneuver him by coming forward type of thing. So they choose to start going back, you know.
What are you going to do now, Chris? Are you going to keep picking these sort of opponents, or are you going to pick the very best in the world from the other divisions?
I've been picking the best in the world. Let me explain. I'm quite good. I'm not the best in the world. I'm one of the best in the world. I'm quite content with that. If the opportunity presents itself in the future, then I may well take the opportunity. But my ambition is to secure my family. My ambition is not to glorify myself with titles. That is, it's not business-wise.
No, but you've got to give value for money. You're a very highly paid boxer, and tonight you did give value for money.
And I hope to do so in the future.
Thank you very much.
Aaron, love you bad.
The crowd love you as well.
Another message.